What an event. The main card was fantastic, and I'm going to take you through all the main card fights. Now, first of all, Islam Makhachev was defending the belt. Turns out he's still the champion, but he's also the greatest lightweight fighter that the UFC has ever seen.
Happy to, I have fights, still fighting. That's it. No, it doesn't matter who is going to be, but I'm going to fight.
Islam Makhachev defeated Renato Moicano at UFC 311, with fighters praising Moicano's toughness but recognizing Makhachev's dominance and skill in securing the win. Dana White explained that despite the late change in the fight, all tickets were sold. He added that the budget was initially set at $75 million, but after the fight fell out, it rose to $95 million, and they ended up at $102 million. White expressed how incredible the outcome was, considering the circumstances.
Well, listen to this. What's even crazier is the budget was $7.5. We were at 9.5 when the fight fell out. Fight falls out and we end up at 10.2.
Michael Bisping reacted to UFC 311, calling it an incredible event with a fantastic main card. He began by highlighting Islam Makhachev, who successfully defended his belt, stating that not only did Makhachev remain the champion, but he also cemented his status as the greatest lightweight fighter the UFC has ever seen.
What an event. The main card was fantastic, and I'm going to take you through all the main card fights. Now, first of all, Islam Makhachev was defending the belt. Turns out he's still the champion, but he's also the greatest lightweight fighter that the UFC has ever seen.
Charles Oliveira, Islam Makhachev's former opponent, reacted to his rival's dominant performance against Renato Moicano. Oliveira expressed confidence that Makhachev would eventually become the next UFC lightweight champion, but warned that Makhachev should be prepared for what's coming next.
Foi uma grande luta, né? Ele é o campeão, tinha que fazer isso mesmo. Mas eu sou o próximo, ele sabe disso. O campeão dos pesos leves chama Charles Oliveira. Eu tô pronto para isso.
Ahead of his bout with Renato Moicano, Islam Makhachev exuded unwavering confidence, stating that no matter the opponent, he was ready and focused because he held the champion's title. Makhachev shared his perspective on the situation, revealing that after the weigh-ins, his manager informed him about the last-minute change in opponent. He emphasized that it didn't faze him at all, and he was more than willing to take on the new challenge without hesitation, fully confident in his ability to succeed, regardless of the circumstances.
After the official weigh-in, I go to my room, eat something, drink something, and Ali come to me with some news, you know. It was crazy, but happy to, I have fights, still fighting. That's it. No, it doesn't matter who is gonna be, but I'm gonna fight.
Ilia Topuria expressed confidence, claiming that if he wanted to, he could finish Islam Makhachev and make it look easy. He tweeted, "Islam, if I want to, I can finish you. If I want to, I can knock you out. I'll make it look easy. See you soon." Henry Cejudo suggested that Islam Makhachev should move up to welterweight and aim for a double championship. He tweeted, "Islam Makhachev needs to move up to welterweight and become double champ. UFC 311. Demetrius Johnson reflected on getting hit with a technique twice in one round. He tweeted, "I got hit with it twice in one round." Bilal Muhammad praised Islam Makhachev's Darce choke, calling it incredibly tight. He tweeted, "That Darce is so tight." Bilal Muhammad also expressed gratitude with the phrase, "And still, Alhamdulillah." Arnold Billy Allen complimented Islam's squeeze, particularly his Darce choke. He tweeted, "Islam's got a crazy squeeze. Such a nice Darce UFC 311. Arnold Billy Allen again emphasized the power of Islam's short-arm Darce choke. He tweeted, "Islam's short-arm Darce is nasty sheesh." Terrence McKinney discussed Islam Makhachev's dominant performance once he achieved a takedown. He tweeted, "Interesting fight on the feet, but once Islam got the takedown, it was all over. Tough style to beat, credit to Renato for stepping up." Billy Quarantillo reflected on the excitement of UFC 311, calling it a memorable PPV card to kick off the year. He tweeted, "What a first PPV card to start the year, UFC 311. Max Holloway shared his thoughts on UFC 311, calling it an exciting start to the year. He tweeted, "What a first PPV card to start the year, UFC 311. Jason Mayhem Miller commented humorously on Islam's grappling style, referring to him as a Darce factory. He tweeted, "This caveman is a Darce factory." Islam was set to face Arman Tsarukyan, but after suffering an injury just a day before the fight, Tsarukyan backed off. Renato Moicano came as a replacement, but eventually Islam defended his title.
What's up, everybody? I have some breaking news for you this morning. Around 1 a.m., we received a call from Arman Tsarukyan, who informed us that he was experiencing significant back pain due to the injury. He feels like he is not healthy enough to compete. So, he is out of the fight. Stepping in to face Islam Makhachev for the title will be Renato Moicano.
However, before the fight, fighters reacted to the breaking news of Moicano stepping in as a replacement for Arman Tsarukyan. Jon Anik expressed that nothing surprised him anymore, as the UFC was constantly changing. He mentioned that UFC 311 had a different main event, with Renato Moicano stepping in as the challenger, despite the original lineup featuring 2 ranked lightweights. Anik acknowledged the challenges of reworking the show, but was excited to see what Moicano could do with the opportunity. He also hoped Arman Tsarukyan would recover soon and still get a title shot in the future, as he believed Tsarukyan deserved it.
Nothing surprises me anymore. They did have 2 ranked lightweights on the card. They also had the guy in Renato Moicano, who other than the champion does have the longest winning streak in this division at present among the top 10. Nothing surprises me anymore, though, bro. We're so conditioned to these circumstances. Peeling back the curtain, I got to go revoice the whole show right now. UFC 311 has a different title, so there's a lot more work to be done now. We have to rebuild all the formats. So from a live television standpoint, it's less than ideal, but I'm excited to see what Moicano can do with the opportunity, and hopefully Tsarukyan, whose back could be healed in a couple weeks, hopefully he gets the benefit of the doubt, because I do believe he is title shot worthy, and hopefully it'll come around again for him.
Thiago Moises believed Renato Moicano would have given Islam Makhachev a very tough fight. He praised Moicano's grappling skills, strength, and overall technique, mentioning that anyone who trained with him knew how good he was. Moises thought Moicano's grappling could have matched Islam's, making it an exciting and competitive bout.
I think Moicano would give him like a very tough fight also. Man, he's like, everybody who trains with him know how good his grappling is, you know?
Yeah.
Like how strong he is, how skilled he is. So would it be like, I think he can match Islam grappling.
Marcos Parumpa Damata said that he told Renato Moicano that Arman Tsarukyan wouldn't be fighting and that he would be facing Islam Makhachev for the belt. He described how Moicano was ecstatic, crying with happiness and feeling pumped. Damata mentioned that making weight was easy for Moicano, as he was already close to 156 pounds in the morning. Moicano just needed to go back to the bathtub for another half hour, and it was easy for him to make the weight.
Arman won't fight. You're gonna be fighting Islam for the belt, and he was crying, like ecstatic. He was so happy. He was so like pumped, and it was easy to make. He was already like real close to 156 in the morning, so he had to just go back to the bathtub and just do a half hour more, and it was easy.
Damata further said that they had discussed the strategy, mentioning that he and Moicano talked about what they needed to do and what they had to avoid. He explained that technically, Moicano wanted to focus on everything the following morning. As for practicing techniques, they planned to work on them the next morning. He believed that by then, they would have a good idea of what could be taken from Arman Tsarukyan's strategy and preparation and applied to Moicano's.
We talked a little bit, me and Moicano, about what we have to do, what we have to avoid, but technically, he wanted to just do everything like tomorrow morning, and as far as like practicing techniques and everything, we're gonna do everything tomorrow morning. And I think we can have a pretty good idea what would be feasible to take from Arman's strategy, Arman's preparation to Moicano's.
Demetrius Johnson said that while some people from the Mighty team believed the card was worse, he disagreed. He thought it was actually a better fight. He pointed out that Renato Moicano had been on a tear recently, and because he couldn't afford to lose, it made him a tougher opponent for Islam Makhachev. Johnson explained that with only 24 hours to prepare and no clear idea of the game plan, everything changes. However, he emphasized that both Moicano and Makhachev were well-rounded fighters.
Now, I think a lot of people out there, somebody from the Mighty team was like, this card's worse. I don't think it is. I think it's a better fight. Here's the reason why. You look at what Money Moicano has done recently. He is on a tear because the man can't afford to lose. And I think it's a tougher fight for Islam Makhachev. The reason why is because, one, you got to do it within 24 hours. You have no idea what the game plan is going to be. The whole thing changes. But, both those guys are well-rounded.
Gilbert Burns said that he was very happy for Moicano to step in and get the fight he was ready for. When asked if he thought Moicano had a chance, Burns replied that he absolutely believed Moicano had a chance and that it was a crazy chance.
On the same way, I'm very happy for Moicano to step in and get this fight that he was ready for. And my third question, when I answer that third question, that's a crazy question. Do you think Moicano has a chance? I do believe he has a chance. I do believe he has a crazy chance.
Coach Javier Mendez said it was a pretty crazy morning, but emphasized that they had the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world who didn't care who was in front of him. He pointed out that as long as the opponent made 155 pounds, it didn't matter if the opponent changed at the last minute. Mendez added that even if the opponent changed while they were walking into the cage, the fighter wouldn't care because of how good he was.
Yeah, pretty crazy morning, but you know, we have the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world who doesn't care who's in front of him. You make 155, he doesn't care. Change the opponent. You can change the opponent while we're walking into the cage, and he's not going to care because that's how good he is.
Khabib Nurmagomedov said that even though it wasn't Arman, it was still a very competitive fight. He explained that this could happen to anybody, as it had already happened with himself too. He further emphasized that they were ready and didn't underestimate Moicano.
Honestly, I knew this yesterday, 1 a.m. night before I go sleep. Honestly, it can happen with anybody. If you guys remember 2017 March, it's happened with me too. Then after that, I go hospital, make surgery, come back, and I tell UFC, if it was my mistake, give me other best guy. I'm gonna beat this guy and deserve my title shot. It was same thing with me, you know. I just wanna wish him all the best. You know, he's young, he's tough, he can come back. He have to survive this situation and come back. Now new main event, I think is Moicano. He have very big experience in UFC. How many? Like 10, 11 years in UFC. He have 4 win streak, and he is on his prime. You know, it's like it's a good fight. It's of course it's not like Arman and Islam, but it's still very competitive fight, and we not gonna underestimate this guy.
Beneil Dariush found himself on the sidelines at UFC 311, despite initially preparing for what would have been a home game in Los Angeles. Originally scheduled to face Renato Moicano, Dariush's fight was called off after a series of unexpected events. The withdrawal of Arman Tsarukyan from his title bout with Islam Makhachev created a ripple effect, resulting in Moicano stepping in as a late replacement to challenge Makhachev for the lightweight title on just a day's notice. As a result, Dariush was left without an opponent, confirming he would not be fighting at UFC 311. Despite the disappointment, Dariush took to Instagram to express his understanding and gratitude for the circumstances. He wrote, "Family and friends, unfortunately, I'm not fighting tomorrow. Due to changes in the card, I've been left as the odd man out. I appreciate Dana White and UFC for giving me an opportunity to fight in my hometown and taking care of me even though I'm not fighting." Though Dariush missed out on his chance to compete, he expressed a sense of faith and optimism about the future. "I believe God has something better for me, and I will wait faithfully to see how it unfolds," he added, showing his resilience and belief that good things would come, despite the setback.
Hey, family, friends, and fans, I guess. Obviously, you guys have heard the news. Not an ideal situation. Would have been really cool to get to fight for the title, especially at home. But we trust God's plan, and we know He has something amazing in store for us. Anyways, that being said, I've gotten like a million messages about, hey, we were hoping to meet you. We were coming to the fight for you. And, you know, just things like that. And so I can't really do anything about that, right? But as far as meeting me, how about this? I will be at my gym tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So I'll be there for minimum 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. If anybody wants to come see me, you guys can come to the gym. It's in Anaheim. It might be a little bit of a drive, but if you were looking forward to meeting me, if you come all this way, a little bit of a drive won't hurt, all right? See you guys there.
This turn of events left Dariush on the outside looking in, but it also highlighted the unpredictable nature of the sport and how quickly circumstances can change in the UFC. Even though he wasn't part of the action at UFC 311, Dariush's focus remains on what lies ahead, with a continued sense of gratitude and patience. Islam Makhachev's rise to dominance in the UFC lightweight division is a remarkable story of talent, discipline, and strategy. Initially known as Khabib Nurmagomedov's protege, Makhachev has evolved into a champion in his own right, carving out a legacy that is arguably more impressive than that of his mentor. While Khabib was a dominant force in the lightweight division, Makhachev has taken it to new heights, cementing himself as one of the most dominant champions the UFC has ever seen. Makhachev's path to the top has been paved with victories over some of the most respected fighters in the lightweight division, including Charles Oliveira, Dustin Poirier, and Alexander Volkanovski, who he defeated twice. These wins have showcased his immense skill, particularly in grappling and control, making even the most dangerous opponents look outmatched. His relentless pressure character, combined with his methodical and efficient fight style, has made him a nightmare for anyone in the division. What's particularly impressive about Makhachev's recent victories is his ability to finish fights with the same submission, the Darce choke. This technique has become his signature move, as he used it to submit Dustin Poirier at UFC 302 and again at UFC 311 against Moicano. Makhachev's precision and control on the ground have solidified him as one of the most dangerous fighters in the UFC, and his future in the lightweight division looks brighter than ever. So what are your thoughts on this? What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.